world was black. Why black history is important. It's like, it's the untold story, and it's like everything that was erased and replaced with a myth or a color switch or a metaphor. You know what I'm saying? It got us thinking. But it has the whole world, I don't know, misled, confused. It leaves room for a lot of hatred to be bred because you don't learn about a culture that was based off love. You know what I'm saying? Integrate that into yourself. But I don't know, you can't erase something that's so like evident unless you just destroy objects that you really can't destroy, you feel me? Like pyramids, obelisks, whatever you want to get into. He said, like on that Marcus Garvey poster, a person who doesn't like know itself is like a tree with no roots. Or like know its history is a tree with no roots. But I don't know. That's all I got to say about it.
Okay.
Siobhan.
Okay. I think Black history would mean to me, well, when I think of it, it'll definitely bring emotion of despair. Like, I'll be depressed. I can think about a lot of stuff that goes with it. I mainly think that so much has been lost. Like, a lot of people don't know. They don't have a clue. They think that it just begins at slavery. You know what I'm saying? Like, they think that, well, if we're talking about Black History Month, back when we were slaves, no, let's go deeper than that, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's like, then when you try to talk about it, you're Afrocentric, you're Black power, you know, and it's not that, you know? It's the truth. Like, I'm just telling you what I've researched, not what anybody has told me, or, yeah, the seed was definitely planted, but I myself went and researched, and when I found out about how in depth Black history really goes, it's really emotional. It's really amazing. Like, you know, so I think that people should really open their minds to the meaning of Black History Month. So that's what my thoughts are.
Adding on to what Shavana said, like she said, like if you're really proud of Black history, they call you militant. But if like you're Jewish and you celebrate everything like the Holocaust and being Jewish, then you're just called patriotic. I watched a documentary called Hidden Colors, and it's real good. I might just watch it every day. It's just like I get on Facebook, I get on World Star and all that stuff, but it's like nothing on TV. It's nothing but silly stuff in culture right now. So, but Black history to me means like being your own person, because it seems like a lot of like our peers, they want to be like each other, even if that means they like a negative person. You know, like the dreadheads, or they got the, you know how people saying thought now. It's just it's real negative. I just think I just want to be my own person, avoid it like you know, Black culture. You know, like he just be him. He not a Black kid first. He not Black first. He a human being first. You understand what I mean? He just his own person. Or I'm my own person. You're your own person. So that's what I got to say about that. You had to say something, bro?
No, I don't have nothing to say, really.
What Black history means to me, I feel like Black History Month is year long, just because of like how we need to always move forward, because right now I think, you know, Generation Y, I feel like we're at stake because of how like cultures affect us, I guess, like our surroundings, environment. I feel like the first thing that we need to do is communicate. We need to communicate because it's a lot of broken families. It's a lot of arguments, a lot of fighting, especially on World Star. And, you know, one time I asked my students, I said, why do you fight? And they're like, man, because, you know, that's just how you end it. You just gotta fight it out. I'm like, why you gotta fight it out? Why can't you just talk it out? Because that's what grown people do, right? And he's like, well, you know, we grown, but, you know, we just gotta fight it out. But I'm like, nah, y'all sound like some little kiddies, you know, in the crib fighting over a piece of toy or something. Like, you know, I don't know.
Piece of toy.
You know, whatever. But I feel like we need to do more research on like who we are. I feel like we need to get in tune spiritually. I feel like we need to get in tune with each other and talk things out. I feel like what PeaceCircle right now is just us talking out certain things, which brings us together as unity. Yeah, I just feel like we need more unity to really know who we are, because, I mean, our past is the past. The history is the history. You know, we keep moving forward, so let's just move forward, you know? Find out what the problems are right now and make a solution right now.
I feel like what Black history is about today is celebrating the lives of our Trayvon Martins and the lives of our Jordan Davises, because much of what was before slavery we don't know. Point blank. It's been washed away. We have no recollection of it. What can anybody tell me today about what was before slavery? So, in that, I feel like the only thing we can do to celebrate Black history now is to focus on what is happening now. Focus on the culture that is being sustained now, that is being developed now, and, like you said, move forward.
I also feel like what was before slavery was Kemetic philosophy, like Egyptians, and because those were our people, you know, and like what they practiced, like Mayat and what's the other one? I can't think of them right now, but
I feel you.
You know, those gods and goddesses who like set examples for like human society, human race, and those were our people, you know, and they were highly spiritual. They were highly in tune with the universe and with the planets and the stars and everything else.
Like ancient Africans.
Huh?
Talking about like Egyptian Africans.
Yeah. So that's my piece.
Word.
I was gonna say, like, y'all, I'm with y'all, like, to move forward, and with that, it's like, when you go forward and solve problems, you know what I'm saying, the problems that you're going to be solving are not problems that keep happening. You ultimately find the problems that happen. You know what I'm saying? Go back. They start at an earlier point before they just, boom, just keep happening. Something always has to go wrong. You know what I'm saying? But, I don't know, I can go on. I don't feel like it.
I think what he's trying to say is that, like, you know, you could say, you know, you tell guys, like, why do you do drugs? Why do you try to be this big kingpin? Don't you look back at the other guy who just went to jail for doing the same thing that you're trying to do right now?
Right.
And it's like, how can you try and move forward if you don't know exactly, you know, the real history of it? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, it's kind of hard for one to say solutions. I'm very solutions. What's the solution? I see what I'm doing, but what is the solution for it? And it's like, I honestly, not enough. People aren't as cognitive. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that puts a stop to moving forward because you want more people to be cognitive. You know? Yeah.
Cognitive, yeah.
Yeah. Of like, if more people understood what is really going on and how things work in a certain way, it's like then we can talk about solutions. Then we can have more people saying there should be more black schools or African culture schools so we can learn about this stuff. When I think about what I was taught as a little kid, my first thought goes to Christopher Columbus. I just recently watched Pocahontas, and it's like the cartoon, and it's like, how can Christopher Columbus take so much credit for finding the Americas when there were Native Americans already here? How did those people get here? You know, and it's like, I watched Hidden Colors as well, and it relates back to that, you know? Like, there were people who were black who were
They didn't
here
just
first.
come out of the air.
Right. And it's just like, you still got, that's what the schools are teaching. You know, Christopher Columbus discovered Americas and he thought the world was shaped square. And it's like, okay, if that's what he thought, that's what he thought. But the reality of it is, there were black people in America first. You know? Let's talk about how they found it. Let's talk about their routes to America. No, nobody wants to talk about that in school though.
In school is like, it's planting a bad brick. You know what I'm saying? They can make the whole building fall down later on. And you don't know, because you just keep building on top of that. And at some point in time, I guess a lot of people go through and realize school is full of shit. You know what I'm saying? Only thing that I learned right is that I can count numbers on my fingers. That's basically it. Everything else you learn from people and interactions and stuff. Which is like, interactions like this, how people really learn, or how people really set something new in their mind, and then go out and understand that. I guess is what ultimately does it. But they don't talk about it in school, like Native Americans or anybody else, Japanese, everybody that was some type of pigmented people on that, you know what I'm saying, continent, other than like Antarctica, I guess. But how can you, why would you? Like, why is the question I'm asking now? Why is it important not to teach you? You know what I'm saying, who you are? Why is it important to let you go on through life not knowing who you are? What can you do to somebody? You could trap a bird that don't know it to fly. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't gonna fly away. So.
It really doesn't have a lot of value to me because in America, you know, it's only this month that they give us or that we embrace, and I don't necessarily feel that that's true. I always celebrate our culture and our history, so if this is the only time of month where there's things as such going on and people feel like that, you know, we have to celebrate, you know, Dr. King and some of the people who are just a few of tons of people that we should. It's just a time I feel that in America people just make money, and if we're not doing stuff year round, then it's just another month. But 365 days a year, it's always something to be proud of. So every month there should be stuff as such, and everyone should always do things to incorporate that into the schools, into community centers, because if not, then it's only going to be this, it's only going to be Kwanzaa, those small things that are really crumbs compared to the whole picture.
I wanted to say that I was having a conversation with some very good people that I know, and there was one thing that came up was saying that you know, soon there wouldn't be really like a race. It'll just be the new people, you know, we'll just be new people because we are the new generation, you know, and we can't really like trace back on like exactly who were, you know, in our family tree, because for all I know I could be Mexican, black, well, Mexican, African, I could have been Haitian, Jamaican, I could have been, you know, Native American, whatever, and or even Asian. Like, I don't know, I could have, many years ago, you know?
Me personally, I love Black History Month. Just because I feel like we come so much together. Well, some of us do during this month. Like, I even go around telling people Happy Black History Month, like, you know, and I feel like that's cool when people receive it and they're like, yeah, thank you, same to you, brother. But then there's also a negative side to it, because as the years go on, it's like a negative spin, especially on social media on Black History Month, like a mockery of it, like different ignorant postings that take away everything that our ancestors have done for us. So like, I take the month and I've been posting different people like Fred Hampton and different pictures, like different lynchings, or there's one picture I have like of a man being set on fire, and there's like a crowd full of white people around him. Some of them are smiling, you know, because we just need to never forget our history and how far that we've come and how far that we're going to go, and we're going to progress, and not like pay attention to the negative side of what's happening within our culture right now. So we need more of that and more of this, and that's Black history to me.
Yeah, I remember what I was gonna say. What came up into that conversation was that we don't need to, you know, protest against something or, you know, go against whatever somebody else is doing. We just have to compete with them. That was the whole essence of the conversation. So, like, for example, the news. So we got the news, and they have their own set of reports and, you know, journalism, whatever, and they show different things, you know, broadcasting to the world. So if we, all of us, were to have a broadcasting, you know, news channel, came up with our own, you know, reports and things that were important to us, then we would be competing with them. So that's just an example. So, like, yeah, we just have to compete. And that's basically what we have to do as people. Come together, come up with some ideas, you know, get the business aspect of it. That's why I think, you know, being an entrepreneur is very important. Knowing your facts and knowing everything. You know, yeah, so if we come together and, you know, have this idea that, you know, this person is doing something that we don't like. All right, we're going to do this to compete with that, and we're just going to do it better, 10 times better, and just be on top. Because that's what we need to do. So, yeah. Would you like to say anything?
Revolution, yeah.
Yeah, revolution.
I think it in there.
I think Black History Month is a great time to reflect and look back and to dive deeper into yourself and who you may be, dive deeper into where we may have come from, and also take a look at how the dominant society views us, you know what I'm saying, you know, or views blacks as a whole, you know, February being one of the shorter months, you know what I mean, things of that nature, like, but I think personally, like, it's about self and self-reflection and bringing that reflection outward and bonding with other people who are reflecting on themselves as well and where they may have potentially come from. So.
It's in February because of Frederick Douglass'
Birthday.
yeah. That's the reason it's in February.
And also Carter G. Woodson too, because it started as Negro Achievement Month, or Negro Achievement Week. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And then it expanded out after that. So yeah, definitely.
I was born by the river in a little tent, oh, and just like